So let's get started. Our first trend, we are looking at print for autumn 12. Can I have Diana, please, and Misha? Here they are. Thanks, girls. So Misha is wearing a shirt by Jackpot and a Darling skirt, and Diana is wearing a dress from Mina UK. Now this is the Mina UK dress at the back here. It's got the animal motif. It's quite subtle, which is going to be key for autumn 12. And it's really important, we were saying earlier about the shape when it comes to working the animal motif into the product, because it's something that High Street are going to be picking up on and doing it quite well. So it's very important you get the shape right, and it's a little bit more contemporary for the boutiques. Yeah. Deryane, how do you feel about the animal motifs for autumn?
I think animal print's not going anywhere. It's a really easy trend to buy into. I think people love it. It instantly gives them an update to their wardrobe. This particular one's great. I love the little cute bird print. Yeah, very, very sweet. And I think really easy to wear as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and that shirt tunic is a shape we sort of have been talking about a lot. Really useful because you can wear it young in this way, but you can also wear it for an older customer. It's a really easy piece, isn't it?
Definitely.
And it's got a lovely layered collar in it as well, which is quite key for this season, the neat collars.
Yeah, it's just that extra detail.
And also with this polka dot shirt, we are seeing a lot of polka dot for autumn 12, which is quite unusual. It's usually more a spring trend, isn't it? I don't know whether that's something to do with Stella McCartney. She used it quite widely in her Spring 11 catwalk show. Will you be buying into polka dots for autumn?
Yeah, definitely. Again, it's a non-threatening trend. It's quite easy to wear. I think it translates to lots of different garments as well: dresses, shirts, knitwear.
Do you ever walk down, Misha?
Yeah, I think what this particular outfit shows is how useful a polka dot is to when you're doing that clashing of print thing, because it's such an easy, understandable print next to something a little bit bolder. It works very well.
And the print on print is key for the season. It's quite directional, it can be.
Yeah.
How will you be buying into it for your customer? Because sometimes we are seeing it on one garment, two prints used together.
I've already seen it on dresses, tops. I've seen kind of prints mixed together, and I think it's very easy when you're buying into it in one garment, because people can understand that to kind of mix the two prints together for the consumer is a little bit more tricky. But when you're buying into it in one garment, it's a bit easier.
Yeah, and I think to do it in one garment, you're seeing people do smaller micro prints against a larger identical print, or contrast colour, so all over in one colour mix, and then a contrast on a collar or a sleeve. That's probably the most commercial way to do it, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And comprehensible as well.
Yeah, people will understand it. It won't be too frightening for them.
Perfect. Thank you, Misha. So next we're looking at a minimal trend, that clean silhouette. Can I have Anna J, please, and Alex? So Anna J here is wearing a coat, knit and cigarette pant, all by Imwear. And here we've got Alex, who's wearing a black tunic and a collarless coat, and that's both from Second Female. So the minimal look, we saw it sort of first, Celine championed this, didn't they, in autumn 11. It's something we have seen around quite a lot. I mean, Zara does this look very well. So, I mean, how do you think, Deryane, that translating to boutiques, is this something your customers are looking for, the cigarette pant, these sort of DB overcoats?
Yeah, I think quality is key with this trend. I think the shapes are very simple, so the shapes need to work, need to be a good cut, a good fit, and by kind of contrasting the colours as well, I think it gives a new look. So I think it's quite an easy trend to buy into, quite smart. Good for all age groups as well.
Yeah, and it's quite nice to see it, as you say, with colour introduced, not just doing minimal with black.
Yeah, it's a good way if you want to buy into, which we'll talk about later about the colour trend, but it's a good way to buy into colour, to kind of do it in quite a simple, clean way as well.
Yeah, I think the key thing is that with the customer at the moment, they are very, I'd say they're almost trend averse to a certain extent. A lot of customers want to know that what they're buying, they're going to get value out of. And I think there's a reason why we're seeing all these classic shapes come back into the market, and that is around that. And if you look at what a lot of luxury brands are doing, they're selling very classic shapes, but they're speaking to you via change in fabric or change in colour. And on these classics, it really gives retailers, I think, the chance to sell colour to them, so a different type of colourway. And I'm seeing a lot of trenches coming through in different colours for spring, obviously, and you know, just lots of different colour offers in very simple, understandable silhouettes that have just been around for donkey's years.
Definitely.
And it's almost like the customer says, oh yeah, I could have a coloured one of those. I've got a black one, or I've got a grey one, and I could have a coloured one.
Yeah, a new reason to buy into a shape.
Absolutely.
Thank you, girls. And speaking of, you touched on it there, Lorna, texture, which is our next trend. Can I have Diana and Misha? This is going to be really important for autumn 12, I think.
Yeah,
that sort of contrasting in fabrics, leather and jersey, woolen knit, whatever it may be, and fur as well. We've seen quite a lot of fur around for this season. How do you feel about fur? Are you buying it in coats? Are you buying it in?
We'd only buy into kind of fake fur, but definitely I think it's a luxurious trend to buy into. It's very tactile as well, so it's good on the shop floor. Looks great in the window as well.
This is a great example. This coat's from Urban Code. The knit is from Yaya, and the blouse underneath is from Second Female, and the jeans that Diane's wearing there is they're from Part 2. And this coat's a great example of that texture trend, and it's just a little bit different, isn't it, from a lot of that vintage fur that we do see.
Yeah, we saw quite a bit of teddy bear around this autumn winter actually on the high street, but this doing it in these kind of nice slouchy but still very recognisable investment type pieces, I think really speaks to the luxury side of this, which works well for the boutique customer.
Yeah, and we have Misha here, and she's wearing an inwear shirt, which has got a lovely contrast leather collar, and the fur gilet and trouser, they're both from Second Female. And with the shirt, we've seen a lot of these contrast collars. This is something that does have that feel of luxury, a little bit, you know, a bit of a difference, and it's that quality element that the boutiques can sort of buy into well with this. Is that, do you feel?
I think what's happening is, and I don't know if you agree, Deryane, what's happening is the customer is really fed up of seeing a lot of cut and sew basics in their wardrobe, and if you're going to sell them basic pieces, you need to elevate them in some way. And I think there's a lot of clever stuff going on at the moment with designers looking to do a different fabric panel, mix leather with jersey, just to kind of really ring the changes and make something look, just elevate a basic piece. Like I've seen some really nice biker jackets with sort of leather panels and then jersey backs. In contrast colour sleeves.
Yeah, I've seen lots already in contrasting fabrics, and I think it's a really cool, quite a sharp trend. I've seen lots of leather on shirts, on jackets, mixed with wool, mixed with cottons, and I think it's quite a cool, sharp trend. It looks good, I think.
Across all categories?
Yeah, definitely an area I'll be buying into. I've seen lots of velvets mixed with knitwear as well, which looks really cool. It's quite a good look.
Yeah, because velvet is notoriously quite difficult, isn't it, to sell? So hints of that.
Sort of velvet panels on knitwear and stuff.
It makes velvet more casual and therefore more wearable.
Definitely.
Brilliant. Okay, so next we're looking at our colour trends. And the key colours, I don't know if we've got Anna J and Alex ready to come out yet, but we've got teal and rust, we think, are the two key colours for the season. We've seen rust everywhere. It's kind of moving orange on. I mean, orange is still going to be big, but it kind of makes that a little bit more autumnal feel, isn't it, to
I think what's really interesting from last autumn when we sat up here and we were talking about the 70s trend, weren't we? And what really came through strongly, I think, commercially for everybody from that 70s trend was less about the shapes and more about the colour palette. And that colour palette has had some real go in it. It's now been going for probably the last year, and this will be the sort of second autumn we've seen that colour palette. And that teal and that rusty colour, again, they speak a lot. That's where they're coming from. Yeah, and here we've got Alex in the teal jacket here. This is from Charming, and this is a great, you know, a big ticket item, the coat, that's going to lend itself really well to that teal colour, because I mean, green suits a lot of skin tones as well, doesn't it? It does. It's and it works well for a British skin tone, I think.
I think definitely with colour, with all the colour that's going to be around, all the print that's going to be around as well, it's going to make the shop floor look fantastic. It's also going to translate very well to online sales as well, because it looks good on a page
Really does,
also.
yeah.
So I think it gives people a new reason to buy into things. People are feeling that they want colour, they don't want dark, they don't want dull. They're always looking for kind of something a bit brighter, and I think it gives you as a retailer something to show your customers. It's a new reason to shop, really, which is so important at the moment.
I think what you said, Deryane, it's just a really interesting theory, which I totally agree with, is this whole thing about online sales actually pushing colour, because the customer actually sees how they can wear it, and it does look really crisp on a page. In a way, in a shop, it can look a bit scary, particularly if you're relying on someone to merchandise it correctly, which a lot of the high street doesn't do that great job about. I really do think online merchandising really helps with colour.
And Anna J is wearing the knit and trousers, and they're both from Jackpot here. Will you be buying, is Russ something you'll be buying to mix in with print, or will it be something you're buying like the trouser here in sort of its in total with the
bit of
all over
both,
colour?
really. I mean, there's so much of both around. There's a lot of colour, a lot of print. I mean, who'd have thought sort of 18 months ago that we'd be selling printed denim as well as we are. People are getting braver in their choices, and they will mix colour, they will mix prints. So and I think people are just having a bit more fun with fashion at the moment.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to that whole thing about people understanding that the piece is actually quite simple, and they've got no fear about the actual shape of the piece they're wearing.
Yeah.
And Deryane, earlier you were saying about the knit that Alex is wearing. The pockets are really nicely placed.
I've seen lots of that on garments as well. I've seen kind of colour blocking. I've seen that kind of pocket shape, I've seen it quite a lot. So it's quite key.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. So next up, we are looking at ladylike trends and the sort of nod to the 1940s, that vintage retro appeal. Here we have Misha, and she's wearing blouse from Fever, pencil skirt from Darling, and the James Lakeland coat. Now this is something we have seen around for a while, but I think it is still there. We've seen a lot of peplums, haven't we, over the past season or so. And this Fever top that Misha's wearing is a really great way of doing that. So it sort of kicks out quite nicely underneath that jacket there. And Diana's wearing a James Lakeland dress there with the little shift with the short sleeves. Also looking at that Kate Middleton effect, is it still working? Are people still buying into that?
Yeah, I think ladylike trend's a real easy trend. People feel sophisticated. It's quite a sophisticated, timeless, elegant look. So yeah,
and she's going to be around. She's on tour because it's the Queen's Jubilee year, and it's an Olympic year. She's going to be absolutely under the spotlight, and that's good news for retailers if they're looking to buy into this trend. I think.
Everyone loves Kate Middleton.
And while we're looking at Misha here, the skirt is a key item as well, isn't it, for autumn 12? We're seeing a lot of them around, particularly the pencil skirt. I mean, how do you feel about that? Are you buying into that as your customer?
I haven't bought into it too much yet. I mean, we do have people ask for skirts, but we still find that dresses are the easier option, really. But it's good to see them making a comeback.
And this shift here is nicely updated with one of the key colours of the season that we're talking about.
Seen lots of colour blocking again. It's quite key for spring, summer 12, and also seen it quite a lot already for autumn, winter. So yeah, it's nice to see it on a smart sort of garment as well.
Yeah, and it's the shape in this one. It's actually quite subtle, isn't it, this sort of colour blocking? And I would say if you're still looking at colour blocking for autumn, winter 12, you should move towards something a little bit less brash and a little bit more subtle.
Yeah.
Perfect, thanks very much. So now we're moving on to our last trend, which is high shine. And we've got Anna J and Alex coming out shortly. High shine, this season, we're not talking about the brash, bold sequins. It's something a little bit more subtle, isn't it? It's in the knitwear, it's in the tweeds.
Yeah, I think it's very much that fabrication story again. We're seeing it, I mean, some of my colleagues were at Spin Expo, which is the yarn, really right at the beginning of the chain, the yarn fair, and so much work in yarns at the moment that we're going to see come through in terms of fabrication over the next couple of seasons, particularly for autumn winter. And so yes, I think this is becoming, if you just see the way that twinkles under the light.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous jacket.
It's very subtle, but you know, you can wear it in the day as well as the night.
People are moving away from kind of the harsher, brasher sort of sequins, and you're seeing like lots of tactile fabrics, duller kind of metallics, really good sort of with coated denim as well, kind of having that shine coming through on a jean, which is great. And also I've seen quite a lot of dull sort of sequins on knitwear as well, so it's not doing it just on the embellished tops or dresses, you're doing it in a different way.
Yeah.
This coat is actually from Lauren Vidal, and if you could take the jacket off, Anna J, the blouse underneath is from Truly by Part 2, and the sheen trouser is from Second Female. And again, the silks, is this something that's important you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's nice that they've dropped the way that's got
the high-low hem,
drop
nice, yeah.
shoulder and the high-low hem. It just sort of, you know, really freshens up that garment. And again, that sort of collarless look, that's quite a key move on for the shirt, which has been such a good seller. And also it's slightly sheer, slightly contrasting panel fabrics. All those speaking very much about next autumn winter, that shirt, I think. It's a good buy.
Yeah.
And speaking of collarless, Deryane, earlier you were saying that, I mean, there's a lot of it around. We've seen it in both Paris, Copenhagen, we've seen it here.
Yeah.
You're quite wary about it in terms of the collarless jacket for the customer.
Collarless jacket, I think, can always be tricky. We always find there's a little bit of hesitation towards that because it's difficult to work in with your existing wardrobe. It's great when you're buying it to go with a specific dress or a specific outfit, but I think be careful of it for you know, to go with everything. You need to kind of dress it for the customer, but with a big
merchandise it up
scarf
in the
and
store,
something,
perhaps,
yes, definitely.
how to wear it. Okay, and then Alex is wearing a beautiful dress from Goat, obviously the metallic and that sort of brassier metallic that we're seeing coming through.
Yeah, I think that bronze sort of colour and very deadened, sort of dulled down, bashed back metallic, that's definitely where that look is going.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely, you don't want it to be too bright. I don't think people are buying into like real bright sort of brassy occasion where it needs to be a little bit more muted, a bit more sophisticated.
A lovely fluted sleeve there as well.
Yeah,
and it's almost got it's really interesting, this dress, it's almost got a coated feel. It's not coated, well, but the yarn is coated, so that's what's, you know, as I was talking about what's going on with yarns, that's a really great example of it. You know, it's all about the fabrication, that's where people are really looking for the difference. And the great thing from a retailer point of view is that it's, you know, the better the quality is a good
It shouts,
boutique.
doesn't it, to the
yeah,
customer
totally
as well.
Does. Hard to do on the high street, this kind of thing.
Perfect, thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. That concludes our trend presentation. If you haven't done so already, please come and see us at the Drapers newsstand, which is situated at F14 stand. Thank you, enjoy your day.